What it do, y'all? It's your boy Northwest Wally, Seattle's West City Music Media. I'm gonna give y'all a tour of the town, of the hood. Well, let's say Seattle. We're gonna ride through these parts. Sneak through these parts. I appreciate y'all tuning in. My last episode, it made sense of the situation clearly. That was a success with getting that message across. So today, I wanted to give a tour, mostly for the people who ain't from the town, of what a beautiful day in Seattle looks like come fall. It was actually a really nice Halloween. The leaves fell right on time. We had a couple days of sun this week, which was surprising, but it's back to rain season. So we're entering the CD now, coming up on the famous legendary Garfield High School, where all your favorite artists and athletes come from. Quite a few. Bruce Lee, Jimi Hendrix, Quincy Jones. I actually met Quincy Jones one time before at a bar. I once said, I so dope to Sammy Drain. I spoke with Quincy Jones, so dope to Sammy Drain. My posse's not on Broadway, we're in the Chopper District. Where yo get popped in broad day, but nowadays it's different. It really is different nowadays. Garfield's gonna be to your right. This is the Quincy Jones Community Center, actually. We're taking a tour in the band, so this is the Garfield Quincy Jones. It's a little empty right now, but it's pretty cold outside, so back streets. They always say, people always say, Mama always told me to take the front street. Not me. I always felt more safe on the back streets growing up. I would always walk in the back streets. I think because if anything were to happen, there was more cuts and houses to run through and to maneuver through and disappear in. On the main street you may have more people. Nowadays though, people will watch something go down and walk right past it, so I'd rather rely on my own instincts on how to maneuver and get up out the way. This is the back of Garfield High School. The football field, which is a wonderful field, a great field that they invested millions into. But the neighbors actually said, excuse the windshield wipers, the neighbors actually told the students that the school that they were not allowed to play football games on the field, even though they put millions into the field, and it's one of the best fields in the city, for the simple fact that the neighbors didn't want the commotion and the lights. And that just would go to show how gentrification would have an effect on the community. Because if you don't want no commotion and noise, then why move next to a school? Let alone be so selfish to tell kids that they can't practice their dream or get better at their dream by practicing on their own field. So what are you telling them, to go elsewhere to some other school that is their rival school? Not necessarily like beef wise, but just, sports wise. Everybody has their own rivals. And the only other field that's close enough to Garfield High School, which is probably the second best field in the city, is Franklin High School. And if you're from Seattle, then you know that Franklin and Garfield have always been rivals, as well as Rainier Beach, which is the next field there is. So, you know, they did Garfield High School pretty foul with that. They did Garfield High School pretty foul with that. This is actually the block I grew up on. 21st and Spruce to 21st and Alder. We'll put it like that, the 22nd and Alder, 19th and Jefferson, 22nd and Jefferson. So East Yesler. Things of that nature. Shouts out to Gil. It might be a little dim, but it's dim outside, so it's a great day. So Spruce Park, 21st and Spruce. We're about to be, should I take a right, left? We're about to be going up to Duce8 and Yesler, the infamous Yesler Blade, where our crew be at. As I told you, the posse's not on Broadway, we're in the Chopper District. Try to get those windshield wipers off, y'all. This is the Bryan Manor. The Bryan Manor, I'll say projects because basically that's what it was. But it was always live growing up there. It was a gated, still can't call it an apartment complex because it wasn't really that. It was always gated in, so if you weren't from Yesler, you wouldn't really come up there, let alone go inside the gate. This is the back of Pratt Fine Arts. I got a twirl and a turn. Pratt Fine Arts. That was our basketball court that we still be playing with in the summertime. The Mexican brothers bringing all their families up in there. They be playing tough. They be having tournaments up there, so we'll be letting them do their thing. Like I said, in Seattle, Mexicans and blacks get along for the most part. At the least, we just won't really converse, but we don't really beef with each other. We mind each other's business. So you're on 20th and Jackson now, which is right next to Yesler. You've heard of Jackson, you probably heard of it from Duce8 Jackson, South Side. So now you're on the south side of the district. So when I say the east side ends just right around Spruce and Yesler, East Yesler. Then you start getting to the south side. Now we're on the south side of the central district. We just passed Washington Middle School. There have been a lot of shootings over in this area right here. In the last couple months, we were probably having like a shooting a week up here, which probably led people from outside to think that, you know, it's a war zone going on up here, and it's not. People pop off when they pop off. Everybody has their own little personal issues. So don't let them make you think otherwise. But it is grimy up here though. Usually I won't even ride through this parking lot because, for the simple fact that they shoot in here during the daytime and the nighttime, in the morning time, it doesn't matter. They wop off. We got some brothers there. A boy, Big Head Tay. As you see, this is Jackson. Guess I should bring y'all around Duce8 and Jackson. I'll slide up by Duce8. That's the thing with Seattle is they make, go ahead, shorty. They make one-way streets into two-way streets. You would think there'd be more accidents. There's less nowadays because they put islands more in the street because cats would literally be doing, I've seen cats do 70 miles per hour in these back streets before. So the islands definitely made a difference. This actually looks pretty nice, don't it? Pretty peaceful Thursday. Followed by Duce8 and Jackson. Now, of course, people will say, you know, back when, years back, before things changed, the demographics and the gentrification, of course, kids would hang out on different blades or the blade. So Duce8 used to be very active and still is more come the summertime. This is Duce8, and this is why a lot of people want to come into these parts, because you're coming up to a hill that leads to the water that basically is pretty off in the deep end. And there's so many cuts back here that you're not really, especially when it was active back then, it was really easy to just get into some shit and get up out of Dodge. So I'm gonna take y'all down by the water. Which is my favorite part of Seattle, Lake Washington. Where it's very peaceful. So, sometimes people get in some shit down here, coming in the water. It's summertime or something. The CD has its side of the water, which I'm going to now, and the south end has their side, where mostly cats, because Lake Washington is a very, very long strip. It runs from the Central District, and this is a lake. This is the water. So that's a big dream catcher that they made. That was a nice piece of art they made years back. Leschi Middle School to my left. And this is the windabout going down to the lake. But this is the cool part about Lake Washington, is you get you some rollerblades and you roll down here, or a bike. it's kind of scary going down here in your whip because cars can be coming up really fast or coming down really fast. And if you're not careful as you make these turns, because if you look at it, it looks like the street is just a one-way street, but it's actually a two-way. You know, cars come up from the left and from the right we come down. I remember a homie man got in a van. We came from the E40 concert. He started. I never went so fast down this hill in my life in that van that day. He was going like 20, 30 miles. Let me see him going 20. He was going at least 35 miles per hour down here, down this hill, hitting these corners. And he made it, but we were rattled. That was an interesting night. Shout out to E40 because I've been watching certain these new artists perform on stage, and what trips me out is their performances or how horrible they are. You know, losing breath, not remembering their words. It's pathetic. Watching E40 spit set precedent to how a show should be. I mean, he didn't miss a beat. He didn't stutter step on one word, and he was active with it. And he was spitting non-stop. He didn't run out of breath in that. But this is Lake Washington. Right to the left where I'm turning is the Blue Water Bistro, which is my favorite restaurant. So come down here. Now that's the water. Now again, it's smoggy out there. But you can go in the dock and everything. This is just part of the lake. Now this is the Blue Water Bistro right there, down here in Washington. A very beautiful, very beautiful restaurant, especially during the holidays, because they be having live bands and so forth. Live bands playing jazz bands. Yeah, I love that. Trying not to get the windshield off too much in y'all face. It's pouring in rain, so I gotta maintain. It's been a little bit more quiet in Seattle lately, which I'm glad for. Imagine how crazy it was gonna get once it started to, when they started letting people mob around with masks and gloves, going to the store basically with, you know, masks and gloves, like, and nobody even think of anything. So that's how I heard what was going on in California. The crime rate and the murder rate was skyrocketing. DUH. Because of the pandemic and the whole layout of things, of course. Being able to move around with a mask and gloves. I ain't gonna ride the whole strip of Lake Washington. Okay, it goes deeper into the south end, which I don't mind going into either, which I will later. It's such a long strip, I just wanted to show the CD part of it. Now we are about to go up to Madison from Lake Washington, and Madison will lead you to Union, East Union. Be a lot of ducks there. Yes, this is the Central District Seattle tour. Please put your seatbelts on. Strap in and enjoy the rain. Let it enjoy you, because it will wet you up. And everywhere we go, tri-female will set you up, so be careful. You know when it's a no-no. You about to meet a female or something. Learn, experience my past. You ever feel like in these times a lot of people get set up? If you're ever on the phone with a female and she's giving you directions, telling you, yeah, come over for sure. She just seems like she's super ready. And as soon as you hear that faint little voice in the background, you be like, who's that? You're like, nobody, don't know. That means there's a dude behind her telling her what to say and where to go to. We just passed Madrona Middle School. Union is probably the most active lane in the CD right now. The whole community congregates up here. Got a couple restaurants, all the weed shops are up here. So now East Union. A lot of them be off-brands and runaways and stuff like that. like other states could be. Like in LA, they do that. On Skid Row, a lot of the gangsters that got kicked out of their neighborhood, got hooked on drugs, be chilling on Skid Row down there, blending in. Skinheads pulled up in a little, Toyota Corolla, old one, like 4 of them, they were grown ass men. I was like 10 years old, I went and got walked to IHOP. They were like, hey nigger, and I looked, these cats had to be in their 30s or something, all skinheads. There used to be more skinheads down on Capitol Hill before we would come up here and got them up out there. And they would be